Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Frontiers of Knowledge. Every action that we take, innocent looking or not so, contributes to the change in climate, about which quite a bugbear is being raised. And similarly, all our actions, normal, like letting the water run too long, waste energy and our limited resources. Everything we do affects the world around us. And energy consumed globally adds to the climate change. And are you aware that the poor transport sector, life and economy sustaining factories and transport are unnecessarily criticized for that? The biggest criminal for climate change caused by the energy usage is nothing else but the smart devices that are seriously impeding all fight against climate change. You can stop driving cars and use hydrogen cars. You can stop all the factories, but keep on using your internet devices, your smartphones, and your contribution to climate change would be stupendous. Are you aware that according to 2016 study, we use 3.5% global emission is caused by the use of the devices. And it's increasing 14% every year. Imagine the contribution. There's a tsunami of information, data. And data tsunami is responsible today for 20% usage of electricity and energy. That contributes to the warming of the atmosphere around us. And it's likely to increase every second day. The severe consequences caused by this underlying trend, the rapidly growing power needs has led to the establishment of farms. Not farms growing agricultural produce, but farms for servers which store data from billions of devices around the world. As we acquire more devices, as we use more data, and our dependence on these technologies, mobile technologies, increases, these servers require significantly more power, and we need more of such farms. And the situation is getting worse every day. A Swedish researcher, Andre Anders, he's worked on the study update, and he says that the industry regarding the internet connected devices will increase from 3,000 terawatt-hours electricity per year to from 300 to 3,000 terawatt-hours by 2025. Just recently, the advent of the bitcoins added to it. Do you know one bitcoin uses as much energy as the whole city and the whole country of Denmark? That was reported just 5 days back. It's a perfect storm. There was 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now the fifth generation, 5G, of mobile technology that is right on the horizon. The internet protocol traffic is much higher than estimated. And all cars and machines, robots and artificial intelligence are being digitalized. And as they are digitalized, the dependence on the internet and server farms would increase. And as I said, this is resulting in a tsunami of data. And to process that data, you need more server farms. The more server farms mean more energy usage, more emissions, and increasing climate change. But unfortunately, none of the politicians and none of the scientists have paid attention to this major factor. We talk of driving. We talk of leaving lights on. We talk of letting water run too long, being wasteful and contributing to the climate change. But do we take the personal responsibility for the use of the internet-connected devices that have a much greater and significant impact on our planet? Technology has progressed, there is no denying the fact. But the way we use it, that's horrible. The data that we use, the number of devices we own, are the major elements to consider in this factor. I fully agree that living in an age makes us feel impelled, not compelled. It's an compulsion from within, so it's impelled to use these devices. And we have seen, apart from this use, how dangerous these devices are to our mental health. I'm going to discuss in another episode about the impact of these smartphones on the mental health. And as one study shows that the next generations may be mentally retarded because of this health. The data that we use and the number of devices we own, as we said, is increasing. And we can now even take into consideration of financial investments. It was, as I talked about it, the dependence on bitcoins, the crypto agency is increasing. And the total use of the bitcoins, I'm going to shock you. The total use of the bitcoins through mining consuming more energy than 150 entire countries combined. 159 countries did not use as much energy as just cryptocurrency. And the role of cryptocurrency is increasing every day. We cannot halt it. But our priorities have got to change. Instead of asking people to stop driving, instead of asking people to use LED lamps, bulbs, instead of the incandescent bulbs, which are adding to the light pollution. You know what happens is, we change from one pollution to the other pollution. The LED bulbs, for example, now I'm just adding because it adds to that, is increasing the light pollution apart from being cancerous in nature. But do we care about that? No, we don't. And the result is that because of our stupid priorities, because of our improper priorities, and because of political misdirection and concocted data by the scientists, we do not take proper action where it's needed. The companies whose technology we use. They are responsible for that. They should make changes in order to reduce the energy usage. Or they should transition to better renewable energy source. Why only use the batteries and the lithium batteries and other batteries? What these companies do, the technologies that they create and they use, each have a definite, relative and specific impact on the environment, but they are least bothered about because they have not been criticized. We always say the concept of polluter pays should be there. Here, as far as the internet devices are concerned, who is polluter? Is it the user, like you and me? Or is it the manufacturer of those devices and who is responsible for the server farms? You cannot single out one polluter because all of us are in fact complicit in this conspiracy to change the climate. What has to be done is that while the individuals make a concerted effort, these companies should be held accountable to ensure that the power sources for these change. Why should the server farms not be fueled and energized by the geothermal energy, which is absolutely unending and it's renewable, it's a permanent source? But no, we won't do it because the initial costs are too high. And the experts have now agreed that the climate goals will prevent life-threatening consequences. They will be stressed. I do not advocate going back on the devices. I'm not a person who would say we should stop the progress. The availability and easy access of information that the internet provides is a precious resource. And as a matter of fact, I fully agree, since I was one of the sponsors of that resolution, that right to information is a human right. So the use of internet devices, I'm not against that. I'm against the internet devices' use of power energy that is adding to the problem. Bitcoins are fine, but 1 year of operation of Bitcoins exceeding the total consumption of energy of 159 countries. It's mind-boggling. The education that the internet provides is an essential part of the modern life. But if the companies continue to advance technologies and we carry on consuming them, we are acting like lemmings who follow their leader and commit suicide. It's paramount for both the parties to take into consideration what impact these devices are going to have. Apart from the psychological effects, apart from the health effects, only one effect of the climate change should make us think again. But do we think? The various stakeholders in this are the users, the producers, the servicers, the government, the policymakers. Which of the stakeholders till today have raised concern on this issue? We have got to segmentize. Data is important, information is important, but the method of providing that information has to be upgraded. I'm not going to say change, it has to be upgraded to ensure that the use of energy is not as much as it is present. The way it's going, our smartphones, our iPads, in fact, all internet-connected devices, your smart watches, are going to play havoc with our system. It's better we take care today because a stitch in time saves 9. Thank you.